Hello and welcome to Life As, a brand new video series from the University of Manchester. In this series, we're going to be chatting to students from across the student body about their experience of living and studying in Manchester. My name is Jacob, and as a first year student, I'm eager to share the experience of my fellow students in order to demystify life at university. After all, as current students, we all had these preconceptions about what life at university was going to be like, and this series will tell you the truth from the lies and decipher the fact from the fiction from students who know it best. Joining me today for the very first episode is Nicole, who's a master's student studying marketing at the University of Manchester's Alliance Business School. Thanks for joining me.
That's all right, happy to join.
Do you want to introduce yourself a little bit more? I know I've introduced your course and stuff, but...
Yeah, absolutely. So hello everyone, my name is Nicole. I am a postgraduate student at the University of Manchester. I previously studied at the University of Leeds. I did sustainability and environmental management. I am actually from Ecuador, so even though it's not British, I'm not British. Everyone thinks that, but I'm not. I moved over 5 years ago for uni, and I went to a British school, international school when I was in Ecuador, which is why my English is quite good. After studying at the University of Leeds, I did a year as a sabbatical officer at Leeds, and then I decided, because of the work experience I got in that year, that I wanted to do a master's in marketing, so now I'm here at the University of Manchester.
What were your first impressions of Manchester, kind of during the application process, first of all?
So during my application process, I was mostly considering universities in the north. I didn't really want to go to the south. I think that's because I had such a good experience at Leeds. I almost wanted to replicate that, but in a bigger city. So when I was considering Manchester, I was looking at the course, how well ranked the course was, the city, the vibes in it. I wanted a big city that was bigger than Leeds, but not too big like London. Do you get what I mean? I was also thinking about the people, the societies, the opportunities within the city. Ideally, I was like, I want somewhere I can settle. I don't really want to move to one place for a year and then move to another place for another year. I was like, Manchester has so many grad jobs, opportunities and things that you can do after uni. So like currently I'm only applying to jobs around Macclesfield, Manchester, Greater Manchester, because that was like one of the main reasons why I was looking at coming here in the first place.
What did you think of the city, first of all? Like when you arrived?
Yeah, I feel like it was different when I was like thinking of coming than when I arrived. So when I was thinking of coming, it was kind of like, I knew it was going to be a big city, it was going to be busy, but when I got here, it's actually a lot busier than I thought it was going to be. Like, it's so hectic. You walk out on Oxford Road, and there's just people
Those
everywhere.
buses, I swear to God, could run you over. Like,
the city was quite appealing to me. Like, I think there's so much to do here. Like, you'll never get bored.
No, that was my first impressions when I actually only visited Manchester once before I applied, and then I came again for my Off the Hold Open Day. And I think my first impressions, it was like massive, and then when you actually get here, it's not small, but it's a lot smaller than you think. I don't know, do you feel that?
I always kind of compared it to London in my head. And I think
a lot of people do. I feel like it's a smaller London, but you don't compromise on anything. I feel like people, so I'm from the south, I feel like people in London are not as nice as people in Manchester.
I completely agree with that. Oh my God.
People in Manchester are friendly.
So
we'll tell
lovely,
you here.
So lovely.
Talk to me about being an international student. So I imagine you feel like, there is not a divide between home and international students, but sometimes it can be, I don't know, how would you describe it? Do you feel like maybe at Leeds, maybe more at Leeds and not so much at Manchester?
I actually think they're very, very similar in like the divide with home and international students. And so my course here is very, very international student based. Like, there's like 18 different countries.
Oh, wow.
I know, it's like mental. And I was talking to all the international students on our course. I think we went for a drink after our exam or something. And a lot of them were saying that they really, really felt this divide, especially as postgrads. I'm very lucky that I went to like a British school. And then like when I was at Leeds, I joined Hockey as a Society, and that kind of like, it made me a lot more comfortable like speaking to English people.
Would you advise people to join societies?
Oh my God, absolutely. Like I think societies are very, very like, especially if you're an international student and you, I don't know, you're a bit scared about the cultural differences, the language barriers, like how to approach an English student, how to speak to English people. At the start, I know that can be quite daunting, but if you join a society, I feel like because you'll be a fresher, or even if you're not a fresher, if you're joining in second or third year, you'll be new to that society, people will kind of take you in. And you'll be surprised by how nice people are. Like,
I feel like that speaks a lot about at university, kind of just throwing yourself in. I feel like people can be scared to kind of, I don't know, turn up to that first meeting of, I don't know, the student newspaper, or attend the first match or training session of a sport. But I feel like that kind of just says, for university, it is a scary, like, and daunting kind of process during the application process, you know, waiting on your results and all of that. But also when you get here, you know, those first few weeks, it is slightly intimidating. But as you said, you know, it's just about kind of just, as I said, just throwing yourself in. Yeah, I feel it's such an overused phrase, but it just speaks volumes. Yeah. So you're a commuter student. So
yes.
So you live in Greater Manchester?
Yes, I live in Stockport, which is, the tram doesn't go there, so that tells you how far it is. But yeah, so the reason that I moved to Stockport is because I moved in with my partner, and he's working at Alderley Edge, which is like even Greater Manchester, even like Southern. Yeah. So we kind of had to pick a midpoint for both of us, where I could commute to uni and he could commute to his job, and it was the same time, because otherwise it wouldn't be very fair. Yeah. So that's why we picked Stockport. I'm actually really happy that we picked Stockport, because it's almost like a little town within a city. Like, it's got its own city centre, and then like it's a lot more calmer. Like, I can go a day in Manchester where it's just like so busy and there's people around,
and then you go back,
and then I go home and it's like chill. Yeah. And I actually really, really like that. The commute at the moment is a bit annoying because train strikes.
Oh, do you take the train?
Yeah, I usually do take the train just because it's a bit quicker. So a bus into uni will take 50 minutes. So a 20-minute walk from my house to the Stockport City Centre, then a 50-minute bus into uni.
Oh wow!
Which is a bit
long. What time do you get up for 9 a.m?
Like 7.
What? Oh my god!
So I have to get ready, and then I also have to get in.
Yeah.
But the train is 20-minute walk from my house to the train station, then 10-minute train, then 10-minute walk. So it's like a lot quicker on the train. But then at the moment it's just a bit like there's train strikes all the time. There was one yesterday, there's one tomorrow. So I'm a bit more relying on the bus at the moment, which is just annoying. But.
Do you feel like there's quite a lot of stereotypes, like commuter students have no friends, or like it's the social life is not there as a commuter student? Do you feel like your experience of that is just not what is not that it doesn't fit into that stereotype?
Absolutely. I think being a commuter student is sometimes like looked down upon, but I've kind of loved it. Like, I think part of it is because I have really good friends, so whenever I do go on a night out in Manchester, I just stay over at one of my mates. And honestly, it's not even that hard. You just have to ask them, like, make friends with people. The more people you know, like, the more options you've got. I feel like people are also very willing to like adapt to your schedule. I think if you build a good friendship group, if you make friends and stuff, people will honestly adapt to you and like be very, very understanding of your situation. I would say I have a good social life.
Because I feel like with commuter students, it can be difficult, but I feel like the university experience at the beginning is difficult, but I feel like it's about making the effort. Would you say that with kind of with everything, like making friends, that sort of thing?
Absolutely. I would say it's very different to school when you kind of just like fit into a group and just like naturally like gravitate to people. Like, when you come to university, you do have to make the effort. But once you start making the effort, it's so easy to make friends.
I feel like making that first friend was the hardest thing, and then once you've done that process of, it's kind of awkward small talk at the start, like, what's your name, what course do you do, that sort of thing. But I feel like once you've made the effort and you've kind of, I don't know, broken it is awkward, don't get me wrong, but once you've broken that, like, the nerves or the kind of anxiousness about, oh, this person's gonna think I'm really weird, I'm going up to them. Like, it's like everyone wants to make friends, and I feel like that's probably the same, you know, with master's students. Even though you're older than, you know, like undergraduate freshers, everyone still wants to make friends.
Absolutely. No, I've definitely seen that within my course mates, and I think everyone is willing to put that effort in if you start putting the effort in. Also, like, once you've made that first friend, like you said before, that friend will have friends, and then you'll meet the friends of friends, and they'll have flatmates, and you'll meet the flatmates, and it's just kind of like a snowball where you just keep meeting people, keep meeting people.
I feel like I'm still always meeting people.
Exactly.
Even 4 or 5 months in, I'm still meeting new people every day, because the University of Manchester is enormous.
Huge. It's so big.
As a master's student, what does a typical day look like for you, if that exists at all?
Great question. I think every day is a bit different, although like I can like kind of pinpoint days which are quite similar. So I'd say, like, basing on what my week was like last term, I had uni every day except for Thursdays.
Okay.
So I would kind of like get up quite early, like 7ish, come in, go to uni, have lunch, go to my seminar, maybe do a little bit of work. If I had like something in the evening, so I've got hockey training every Monday, so I would usually like try to go home a bit earlier on Mondays. Tuesdays I would often try to see people after uni because again commuter student, so I'd be like if I'm going to be in all day I might as well try and see people, do social activities.
Yeah.
Like,
Are you normally you in uni all day every day, would you say?
So
or like
I was,
rounding campus?
Last term I was in all day Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday and Friday. So I would say I was pretty much in uni every day of the week last year. Last term. And I got kind of used to it and I really did like it because it was kind of like, I don't know, it was almost as having a routine. I did kind of have a routine last time. I think this time's going to be a bit different because my lectures are different. So I've got Mondays and Tuesdays all day from 10 till like 5, which is
that's quite an intense day,
but then I've got Wednesdays and Thursdays off, and then I've got Fridays from 2 till 5, so it's like, it's a bit different. I don't think I'm going to come in on Wednesdays or Thursdays if I don't have to, because the only reason I did last time is because I had something on. Fridays as well, you would usually stay out on Fridays instead of going back home.
So do you stay until, so you don't go home and come back in?
Yeah, mostly. So if I know that I'm going to go out, I'm kind of like, oh, it's such a faff to just go back and just. So I'll just go straight from uni to like my mate's house, get ready there, drop my stuff off, probably stay over there, and then go home the next day.
What advice would you give to your fresher self? Maybe your undergraduate fresher self, just generally, and then what you wish you knew 4 or 5 months ago.
So to my undergraduate fresher self, she didn't know anything. She was just kind of like, la 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 la, let's just do life. I would say, don't be so obsessed with everything. Don't be so like stressed by everything. Like take everything in your stride. Do you know what I mean? Like instead of just like kind of just going through life being like, oh my god, like this little problem is so big and this little problem is so big and I'm so stressed about this time. And just kind of like take a step back and be like, everything happens for a reason and everything will pass. Like everything that is happening to you right now in your first year that you may be like, this is. Can I say? Am I allowed to swear? Okay, I'll use a different word. Even if it's just not nice or it's not as good. It's happening for a reason, and you will like grow up and look back 3 years down the line, and you'll be like, wow, like I understand so much more about what I was going through and why this was so important, and like. Also, like the people you meet, like sometimes you'll meet people and you'll think they're going to be your best friends for life, and then they'll just like disappear.
You meet people during freshers week and you're like, I'm going to move into a house with you, like we're going to go on so many nights out, and then you never see them again.
Exactly.
But that's not a bad thing because you're always meeting new people, and I feel like you kind of, in a way, kind of what you were saying about trusting the process a little bit. Like you will find your people, even if it's not like in the first 2 weeks. It's not. Don't be worried about that.
I would say I didn't find my people until my 3rd year, 4th year. As in like in my first year, I still know some of the people I met in my 1st year and 2nd year, but I would say my best friends, like my friendship group now that I meet up with every 2 months, even though we're scattered all across the country, we all met in 4th year, which is kind of like mental. Like you think that you're going to meet the people that you're going to be friends with for the rest of your life in university, but quite often it's just not like that.
But it's just you're always making friends.
Absolutely.
What would you say to your postgraduate fresher self?
That one's a little harder because I feel like it's really recent. Don't think that a master's is really easy because it's not. So like I swear, like when I was like signing up to do this, I was like, oh, it's gonna be fine. Like it's gonna be easy. I can go traveling this summer. Now I'm just like I have to.
Do you still enjoy it?
I love it, No, I absolutely love it. I think it's just, obviously the University of Manchester is very like demanding. AMBS is one of the best business schools. Like my program is so hard. And I think I was very naive thinking that I wasn't going to have to put in that much work. But now that I've gone through like first exam season, first term of it, I think I'm a lot more knowledgeable about how much work I need to put in this term.
But it's all a learning process. I feel like from my experience, you're never expected to, do amazing straight away. If you if you don't do that well on your first essay or on your first exam, it's still because it's so different. And I feel like I can imagine probably even you've gone through the whole university experience before as an undergraduate. I feel like you're still learning new things, like ways of working as a postgrad.
No, I would say like doing a postgraduate is very different to doing undergraduate. Like I thought they were very similar, but now that I'm doing one, I'm like, no, like it's just a completely different experience.
Thank you so much for watching this episode of Life As. Don't forget to subscribe to the University of Manchester's YouTube channel so you don't miss a future episode. And let us know in the comments what you'd like to learn from other students. I'll see you next time. Bye.